This video is sponsored by OneFootball, the app lets you up to date with all the stats, news and scores.
And you'll need that with a transfer window.
We will. Links in the description down below.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-season pint. Another one. How many is this now? Three, four?
Three or four, yeah.
Something like that.
Where we're going to be looking back through all of the season to, including the Watford game that we did do a post-match pint for last week.
Yeah.
And,
We've got no pints. Someone's going to comment about the lack of pints.
Well, you can't buy a pint here. You can't buy a pint here if it's not a match day. All the stalls are gone. But we're outside the London Stadium, as you can see. First of all, let's go through the Watford game. What an end to the season.
Yeah, no, it was. It was a great performance. Obviously, Watford had other things on their mind. FA Cup final to look forward to. But still a good enough team they put out. But no, we was just unbelievable on the day. Mark Noble run the game. Absolutely run it.
Was it the Leicester game? Was the last away game of the season, last season?
Yeah.
He hit that strike.
Yeah.
And what a goal that was.
Well,
if
Mark Noble played in Spain in the sun all the time, he'd be the best player in the world. He seems to come alive when the sun comes out. But no,
solar powered.
Yeah, no. Well, he's here. Look at his hair. That's a solar powered
panel.
But no, it was a great performance. And Declan Rice once again. I know Anderson got a bit of criticism, but I thought we had a good game. I thought we played well. And Anatovich sat 3 goals in his last 2 games.
You know what? We will bring up about Dom as well with his Anderson comments. I mean, he'd obviously had a bit to drink that day. But do you think it's warranted, the criticism of Anderson this season by him?
No, not at all.
The thing is with Anderson, I don't think necessarily what he's saying was right, but he has been frustrating at times because there's times when he'll have the ball and he'll run into a brick wall or he'll make the wrong pass and he does these stupid free kick little pieces, but it's his first season, so you've got to take that into account.
I was going to say that, it's his first season. He's never been out injured, has he? He's played a lot of football. For him to come over from Italy and adapt to the Premier League, I think he's done well.
I think that's why sometimes you can call him lazy, when he doesn't always track back. He has tracked back. You saw the video that's been posted about.
Do you think West Ham posted that in response to Dom?
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
It was a bit convenient that it come out when it did.
Well, yeah, it was posted on, was it in that Sullivan's paper, Daily Star? Is it Daily Star?
Daily Star, and then someone else nicked the story and posted
it.
Yeah, but no, I thought he's done well. He's scored some important goals for us this season. He's scored some good goals for us this season as well. Yeah. I think I read a stat that he's made more tackles than like Van Dijk and players like that. So,
really?
Maybe we just, I don't know. Maybe because he's the record signing, he obviously gets.
We expected too much from him.
Yeah, we was lucky with, I know we keep comparing him, but we was lucky with Pint because Pint come here and hit the ground running straight away.
But even he was lazy to an extent. And there was games when he would track back and defend, but. Like you said, it's adapting to the Premier League.
But that's why, when you've got players like Anderson, that's why it's good to have players like Declan Rice on the pitch and Noble who are going to put in the tackles and win the ball back. Anderson, as we know, we didn't sign him to track back, did we? Your players, you want them to track back, but he's there to make things happen, create goals, score goals, win us games.
The only thing that's frustrated me with him this season, Felipe Anderson, is the lack of desire, it seems, to go beyond the man. To run beyond the man, he seems to stop on the other. But I'm gonna put up an argument for him here. I think that is a Pellegrini tactic for when Masuaku's playing, because he knows Masuaku is fragile defensively. He offers you a lot going forward. He can dribble the ball. He can run with the ball. So if Masuaku's running beyond him, maybe Pellegrini says to him, don't stray too far away from him because he can get caught out and he can make a mistake. So that's the only thing I would say. Maybe with another left back, although I do think Masuaku's had a decent end to the season.
Yeah, he's had a decent second half of the season, Masuaku.
Yeah, I think he's had a decent. But someone who can defend will allow all the freedom for Anderson, and I think that's where we'll see the best of him. Because defensively this season, that's the thing. We'll talk about this in a second, obviously. But defensively this season, we haven't been the best. And, he's trying to shore that up before you sort of let the players express themselves, you know what I mean? But
you're saying about us defensively as well, I think, and I mean this, without Fabianski this season, we'd have been in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
The amount of saves that he's pulled off. Even that one, and you know what? I didn't really realise it until I watched it back on Match of the Day. That save he pulled off for Troy Deeney just for half time was world class.
Yeah.
And he's, do you know what? I think he's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen at West Ham in my time.
He's one of the top ones.
I think he's the best that I've seen in a West Ham shirt since I've been going. He's an unbelievable goalkeeper, and we got him for what, £7 million?
Oh, can you imagine? People were moaning about him.
Yeah,
Moaning
because he'd just been relegated with a poor Swansea team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's come out and he's deservedly Hammer of the Year.
What should we just fucking cut you out?
What should we do? Do we carry on?
Carry on without me. I'll come back.
Yeah, so where was it? That's from me off. Was it?
What can you do? Yeah, can you do it like this?
Was it recording?
Get your shit together.
What I'm trying to find is there was that footage, there was that picture of us this season versus last season.
What is it? Before 20 KFCs this season on the road.
Well, I know we've got 10 points more this season than the previous season, haven't we? We've got 10 more points, scored more goals.
What are we doing? Are we carrying on or waiting for Scott?
I think he said just to carry on.
Well, we might as well wait for him because he's going to come wandering back over in a minute, isn't he?
Yeah.
But can't he just join in as we're going? Otherwise, look, it's because it's cutting into the camera and we're going to have
Okay, yeah, all right. We'll just carry on then.
So where was we?
Fabianski deservedly Hammer of the Year, like unbelievable.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, 100%. It was close between. Well, no, it wasn't even close. He was just outstanding.
You've got to think as well. I think he's only our fourth or fifth goalkeeper to be ever named Hammer of the Year. I think Parks, Ludo was one.
Hislop.
No, was it?
Yeah, I think Hislop was. Yeah.
And Green.
I don't know. Can't remember.
Maybe
I think Green might have been one.
He might have been one.
I think Green did get
but,
one.
Only the fifth ever goalkeeper. When you think about the talent that's in this side, you know what I mean, with the likes of Declan Rice, who's had a phenomenal season. He's been sort of capped by England this year and all that. And Fabianski, who, like, when he was at Arsenal, many writ him off as
Flapianski, wasn't it?
Well, that was his nickname, wasn't it? Flapianski. People were laughing when we bought him at the beginning of the season for £7 million. When you think about all of that and the season he's had, I just hope he carries on this because he could be a West Ham great.
Yeah, and how old is he? He's not that old. He's, for 31? A goalkeeper.
31?
Goalkeepers can play into their 40, can't they?
Yeah.
Goalkeepers. Look at David James.
Well, look at Jeskalainen.
Yeah, they can play. So he could be our number one for the next five years. Maybe longer.
I think he's been unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Great signing, and
it's so hard to find a good goalkeeper, as you know, like
especially for that price.
Yeah, for that money as well. We've been through, obviously, Adrian, Randolph, even Joe Hart last year, who at the time was England's number one goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody's lived up to
He had
anything like that.
a really poor season with us, didn't he? Really,
Do you think he deserves Hammer of the Year?
Yeah, massively. Without fail, he deserves that.
Yeah, I don't even think it's close. I mean, the only other person would have been Declan Rice, I would have said. But no, Fabianski was well deserved Hammer of the Year.
Consistent performers throughout the season. They're the only two. They're the only two you can sit there consistently performed to the standard you expect all season.
I mean, looking over the season, I mean, especially here at the London Stadium, I've enjoyed coming over here. I've enjoyed coming over here knowing that you're going to... And I think we got 31 points here this season. In that last season at the Boleyn, which was an unbelievable season, we only got 34 points at home. So, it's been... And the teams that we've beat here, I go back to Man United when we beat them 3-1.
Yeah.
Beat Arsenal. Drew with Chelsea. Drew with Liverpool. We lost to City and Spurs, but the big teams we turned up and we put in some good performances here.
Yeah, some of the best performances has been at home this season.
What have been your favourite performances this year? What can you look back on from this season and say, yeah, that was the game?
My favourite game here, there's two that stand out for me. Man United at home, and when we beat Arsenal 1-0.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great game. It was Declan Rice's first goal for the club. You know, it was an unbelievable game.
What I loved about the Man United one is that he's coming off the back of that really poor losing streak.
yeah.
We had a really poor run, and no one
Yeah,
expected
it was near the
us to-
beginning of the season.
September, wasn't it? And there's one more game as well. Looking back on it now, I enjoyed it, but at the time I didn't. Was Huddersfield when we beat them 4-3. Just the excitement of being 3-1 down with 15 minutes to go and we win 4-3. It wasn't a classic game, but it was just that when we scored that fourth goal, just that moment, that feeling.
Yeah, we don't get that many moments no more, do we? You know what I mean? Coming back and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I agree with you. My favourite moment of the season, favourite performance was Tottenham. I know people are going to turn around and say, you get the Spurs fans here later, cup final, and they have got their own cup final this year. Finally.
Do you know what's funny is they've got their cup final in the Champions League final, and they're still coming on to us, aren't they? Talking to us about, and that's focus on that.
You know?
Yeah, no,
It's the Arsenal performance though.
Arsenal at home.
The Arsenal at home,
Yeah.
1-0 win.
I remember that. Like I said,
Spot on team
yeah,
performance.
Declan Rice's first goal, Nasri as well when he come on.
Yeah.
But I
Looks
thought,
like he's gone.
But I'll be honest with you, the Tottenham one for me is the fact that we've been so poor defensively. Diop coming back in the side, and he absolutely bossed it. And you know, you got to put your hands up with Tottenham. One of the best teams in the country at the minute. You know, one of the best teams in the country, hands down, in the European Cup final for good reason. And I know people will say, you know, they had one eye on that, but defensively that day, we was unbeatable.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from us that day. Unbelievable.
They still put a team out that were capable of winning that game.
Oh, they needed to win it.
Yeah,
The thing is, like, people will look back on it now because they finished fourth and all that. But you think at the time they still needed to get that because Arsenal. It was only Arsenal's incompetence.
One more win for Arsenal, they would have took that full spot.
Well, this is the thing. It was only the last 3 games that Arsenal lost against Burnley, Crystal Palace, and whoever else it was that stopped them from being fifth. So they needed to win, and I thought it was a complete performance. I thought it was a complete defensive masterclass, and obviously a fantastic goal to cap it off. And that was my moment of the season, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a massive bit of progress, I think, from the season before. So, I mean, look, these are some stats of the things that's up from the previous year. So, possession is up, passes per game, shots per game, shots on target per game, big chances created, goals per game, and points per game is all improved.
And season ticket prices.
And season ticket pricing. That's the next
My
one.
Willie, that's up because I'm getting excited. I'm a joke. That's a joke, by the way.
The thing is, I just think we've improved. I know the league position doesn't massively show how much we have improved.
It's been a crazy year this year. There's been
one of them
two.
seasons.
But it's not
There's
even
been
just the
two-
league position, it's the fact that we ain't in the relegation scrap at all.
Yeah.
That's the improvement. We weren't involved in that relegation.
The improvement for me is the football.
Yeah,
At times, don't get me wrong. The consistency has been fucking terrible at times, as it has been over the last couple of years. Like the teams that we lose into and the manner in what we're losing to. But the fact that I can go out there now and I can enjoy a game of football, knowing that we ain't going to get that. Don't get me wrong. At times, it's been slow. You know what I mean? And I think that's what Pellegrini needs to improve. And I think with time, he will improve that. But I think just the football we play, sometimes when we're on top of our game, Man United game, Arsenal game, passing teams off the park.
When I look at you look at this season, we started off, we lost the first 4 games. Apart from Pellegrini didn't panic. We lost the first 4 games, and since then, like, if you'd have said then we're going to finish 10th, we could have finished 9th if the Leicester result would have gone our way. You know, all the injuries we've had this season to key players, Yarmolenko, losing him so early in the season. You know, Sanchez was out for the season.
What was your
Wilshere.
biggest loss of the season? Who would you like to see play the whole season?
Yarmolenko. I really thought he was just coming into it.
getting
That
his stride,
Everton away performance when he got the 2 goals. And it was just a freak injury at Chelsea at home, and he's out for the season. But hopefully next year he come back. And of course Jack Wilshere. I'd like to have seen more of him. But we knew what we was going to get with Jack Wilshere.
When the last couple of games come along and he came back, he was pulling the strings for me.
Yeah, Watford away, he was pulling the strings.
Yeah.
When he come on here against, who was it, Southampton at home? Come on, he was pulling the strings. There's no denying his talent. It's just his injuries.
Yeah, that's it. It's getting that. It's that frustrating thing. It was like with the Andy Carroll, wasn't it? It's a case of when he's fit, and
when Andy Carroll was fit this season, he was awful.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm saying.
I know, but usually
one goal he scored this season.
You know, but
He only played 1 game.
Yeah.
It is frustrating with the injuries that we've picked up this season. You know, I've seen Tottenham fans go on about, oh, we finished in the Champions League, the Champions League final, we finished in like the top three with the worst injury crisis in the Premier League. It's just like, what? We lost one player.
Yeah, we had Balbuena out for a good portion of time.
We've lost 4 or 5 key players for the past 2 or 3
And out of it,
Winston Reid's been out for how long? 18 months now. It's a long time.
You know, you think Winston Reid up until this season probably been our best centre back.
Yeah.
We played the whole season without him, and to be fair, I don't think we've missed him.
What happens to these players? I'm going to film a separate video about my opinions, but what do you think happens? Andy Carroll, I mean, we've seen him this week in the news. They think about giving him a pay-as-you-play. I don't think that's true, but they're sort of meant to be toying with the idea. I mean, for me, right? I'll give you my opinion first. It's a waste of a squad space. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's been here for 7 years. He's played 86 games in his 7 years out of a possible 264, I think it is. 86 games. Yeah. Why would you ever want to keep a player like that on your books?
See, I like Andy Carroll, but for me, it's just time to move on. Yep. You know, I know he's just bought an house in Epping and he wants to stay at the club. He loves the club, you know, but you just got to think to yourself. Yeah. If he wants a pay-as-you-play deal, then keep him.
But how's he going to take it if it's going like 6-7 weeks and he ain't been picked? He's going to be like...
Knowing David Sullivan, though, he'll probably put him on like 1.2 million a game and he'll play every fucking game.
The thing is that I think Dan, now on here, he's not been influential when he has played. He scored 1 goal, that was against Birmingham in the Cup.
Yeah.
He missed a couple of sitters in that game. He doesn't offer what he used to offer,
nah.
I think. And I know, you know, he ain't had a run of games, but the guy ain't had a run of games for a long time.
No.
And he just doesn't seem to fit the way we play.
How old is he? He's only 30, isn't he? He's 30 years old, so...
And I just think that's a lot for his type of player to keep coming back to injury.
To be honest, I think the injuries have taken its toll on him. But it could have also been a... What do you call it? A sort of defence mechanism by himself. Thinking to himself, right, this is my last season. I've been sat here injured for 7 years, more or less. I've got to find myself a new club. I'm going to have to take it easy. You know what I mean? People know what he can do.
It did look like he was taking it easy in the last few games.
Try not to get an injury, and what happens? He gets an injury anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is he not trying to get himself into a new contract?
Yeah,
possibly. I don't know.
I just think, just release him. Just release him, and
someone will have him.
Yeah,
someone might make him an absolutely brilliant player. Do you know what I mean? Like, and injury free.
Yeah,
I doubt it, but.
But that'll be just our luck. He'll go and sign for like a Watford or someone or a Palace, and he'll be play all season.
I can't see anyone taking a gamble on him for the amount of money.
Yeah, he'll have to drop his wage.
He has to drop to about 40, 30.
Yeah. If I was him, I'd just take early retirement. He's a multi-millionaire. He's got nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
just enjoy it, because he's only going to do himself more damage long term. He'll be walking like Glenn Roeder when he's like 32.
I don't think he's looked after himself well enough. I
agree with you there as well. I don't think outside of football, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think
you're saying that he does. But he does a lot of yoga.
I don't know if he's still doing it.
Yeah,
is he still doing it.
So look, it
ain't worked.
Just release him.
What about Zabaleta? New contract.
After last week's performance at Watford, bloody hell, how poor was he?
He was the worst player on the pitch for me.
Look, Zabaleta's he's going to stay here another year. I think he'll get more involved in sort of coaching.
He's a great person to have in the dressing room.
Yeah, he's a good
leader.
He's a good backup as well for Fredericks. I think Fredericks, that's his spot to lose now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's good to have as backup. Saves us having to go and find another right back to bring in. Experienced, you know, his winning mentality.
The thing that worries me is Frederick seems to be a sort of injury worry for me, because he picked up an injury against Watford.
Yeah, he come off quite early.
So it's a few injuries this season. So that's sort of a worry if we've just got him and
Sam Byron's back, but I can't see him
he's off.
getting anywhere near the first team.
He wants to go back. I think Forest wants to sign him.
So maybe look into bringing in another right back. But ain't we got that youngster as well? Ben Johnson. He can play right or left back, can't he? So
maybe give him a go.
Yeah, he'd be a good to challenge Fredericks and Zabaleta as well.
So what about outstanding performance of the season? Can you think of anyone that bossed the game?
Well, Mark Noble against Spurs and against what was the home game after that? He was brilliant. Southampton. Yeah, Mark Noble. Recent memory.
For me, I'd say Declan Rice against Arsenal.
Well, I was going to say Declan Rice, but in a strange game against Man United away. Because I know we lost the game to two very controversial. He was outstanding that day. And I mean, top draw that day.
Yeah.
Another game as well, I'd say Felipe Anderson, Southampton away.
Yeah, decent. Scott, what was yours?
It's a mix of the few that you said. There's been some really good performances. Especially like I said, the Arsenal one for Rice and the Anderson Southampton. They're probably the two that stand out for me. Trying to think of another one.
Antonio's had a couple later on in the
Antonio
season.
against Tottenham.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable. Fabianski against Chelsea at home.
And Arnautovic early in the season before the trouble as well. Some decent performances. Very decent performances.
Yeah.
Diop, Tottenham.
Yeah, there's loads of. I mean,
but for me, it has to be Rice's performance with Arsenal.
yeah.
That's the
First goal as well, wasn't it? That was an unbelievable moment. That was. I'll never forget. I'll never forget that moment. Like when the ball hit the back of the net. I remember it. Like Nasri just laid it into him, smashed it in. And he didn't know how to celebrate. But the noise. Everyone was just so pleased for Declan Rice.
It's such a shame about Nasri, that he just couldn't stay fit because he looked like he could have been a real influential player for us.
Yeah,
this is the thing for me is that he can still be. He spent a long time out of football. Yeah. And it's hard to, all the injuries he's had have been muscle injuries, which you expect when you have that. I'd give him
a pre-season. Let him train.
No, I'd give him another year.
Yeah,
I would honestly. I know you might sound a bit of an hypocrite, but I'd give him another year. As he said, he's been 2 years out of football, more or less. Muscular injuries, which can, with the right training and stuff, you know what I mean. He trained from December to January with us, but he's had like muscular injuries, calf injuries, which
I know how it feels.
To...
I played in the charity game last week. I couldn't walk for 3 days.
Well,
my muscles were killing me.
This is the thing. He hadn't done it for 18 months. When you're doing it at that top level, I'll give him a contract. Maybe not on as much money as he was. I'd say like drop your wages a little bit if we're going to give you a go. Yeah.
Well, the rumour was we offered him a pay-as-you-play deal as well, and he's rejected it.
He's got to reject a play as you play because he's not going to be expected to be in the team every week.
Let's be honest, he can walk into a lot of teams, like I wouldn't say the top teams, but he can like West Ham's level. He could walk into a lot of teams.
There's going to be a team that takes a gamble on him.
Yeah,
no, he could walk into any of the new promoted teams would take him.
I agree though. I'd give him another year.
He looked like every time he played, he looked like one of the best players on the pitch.
Yeah, he's a talented player. There's no denying that.
As I said, when you look back at that performance against Arsenal when he come on, just the composure that he showed in the box to set up Rice for the goal. That's the level of player that we need to be getting in to play for the club.
So what do we want to see next season in terms of consistency?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean when you look at it this season, first 4 games was bad, last 4 games were good. We had that middle run in December where we had that 4 wins in a row or whatever it was that shot us up the table. But we just haven't been consistent, have we? And we seem to... What we need to do is be consistent against the teams around us. Not always turning up for the top teams, We've got to be beating the Bournemouth, the Wolves. Like we went to Cardiff and Cardiff made us look...
They battered us,
They battered us and that could have been 5 or 6.
Burnley weren't playing well.
Yeah. That's what we need.
Fair, they went on a good run after that.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean?
Look at the Wimbledon game, though. That was,
I was going to go on worst game of the season. We'll do that after. But next season, I want to see pace. That's what I want to see. I want to see some pace injected into this team because I think that's what we lack sometimes. I think the speed of our play. I know Anderson's fast and I know Antonio's fast. But
Fredericks
is about it. Fredericks is super quick.
Yeah.
But that's it, isn't it, really? In terms of pace. Like, you know what I mean? We don't break with any sort of...
Masuaku's quick.
I think Arnautovic is quite quick, but it's because usually when we break, it's like him up there with the ball on his own, and we're waiting for every fucking.
One thing I want to see, not so much next season, but pre-season, is I want Arnautovic to make up his mind whether he's staying or going, because I don't want this dragging out all summer, and it's just like you're gonna have a meltdown on Twitter and social media, this, that, and the other. Get it sorted. Apparently, he wants to stay now.
Well, he's already signed a new deal.
Are you happy with him staying?
Yeah, I am, because on his day, he's a good player.
They need to put something, a clause in his contract, something, so that we don't have the same situation again when we get to late December, and then big clubs like the Chinese, not big clubs, but big clubs in China with their money come sniffing. We have exactly the same problem. You've got to turn around and say to him, if you're staying, you are here until.
I think he's kind of missed the boat now.
Yeah, I think he's learned his lesson as well. I see his attitude in the last 3 or 4 games, and it was like the old Arnie before all this stuff happened. So if he can get his head down, work hard, he's got a good manager to put his arm around. He's got a good captain in Mark Noble. He's the best player in the squad.
Do you think he derailed our season?
It didn't help. It didn't help, especially after that, because we had that good run in
We had
December.
a great December.
I mean, we're looking back at now. We beat Fulham away. We beat Newcastle. Crystal Palace at home. Cardiff at home.
Arsenal in December.
No, we lost to.
I think it was.
We only lost to like Burnley and. I've got to.
Burnley was the only loss, I think.
Yeah, I think it
No,
was.
we lost two. We lost to Burnley and.
No, City was November.
No, it wasn't City. I can't remember. We lost 2 games, but we won the 4 games, which shot us up the table.
Mm-hmm. Probably kept us out of a scrap, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah,
In
definitely.
the end, yes, probably.
I don't know if you could attribute it all to Arnautovic though, because
I think he just took the brunt of the blame. You know, I think even the players who were performing badly themselves looked to Arnie as an excuse to why they're playing badly.
it's just a mentality. It seems to
I
be a
also
mentality
want
issue.
West Ham. I think they've done well, West Ham, with keeping like things like the owners quiet and things like that. Do you know what I mean? This year, I think you've seen a completely different PR machine. But some of the decisions they made at times, man, was atrocious. And I think that's what they need to do. They need to make better decisions, and I think they need to emphasise more in fans' pain. And I think that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like, but they've been like this for years and years and years. West Ham. Like, I remember it was a season when we got relegated, and we was on one of the worst runs. I think Wolves weren't the Wolves that they are now. They was scrapping with us at the bottom of the league, and we had them at Upton Park, and they come and destroyed us, and I mean destroyed us.
It was 3-0, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was. I remember that. James Tompkins had a nightmare, didn't he?
They destroyed us, right? And this is the thing about West Ham. And I remember we had Man United next in the Carabao Cup, in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, and they're like, oh, they used to send these emails out. This is one of the reasons why I started this channel, right? They used to send these emails out, and it was like, oh my God, I don't believe it. What happened against Wolves? It's ridiculous. We're so sorry. Blah 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 blah. Oh, we've got Man United this week in the Carabao Cup, and I used to get one of these every week, bear in mind. And I know it was unacceptable what happened there, but we've been training hard on the pitch. This weekend you can buy a claret and blue scarf in the club shop and I think to myself, like, we are on our arses, and all you're worried about is selling something to us. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing with the Arnautovic announcement straight after that Wimbledon game, which for me was the worst fucking
Do you know what?
moment of this season.
That was set up. They thought that we was going to win at Wimbledon, and then that video was already planned. The person that set it up had already gone home. He didn't have time to run back and say stop it, because that was already, obviously we know it was pre-recorded, but they planned for us to win at Wimbledon, announce Arnautovic, and everyone's going to be happy again. But it didn't work out that way.
But we conceded 4 goals.
Yeah, we was
That
poor.
night, do you know what I mean?
Poor.
Like, we conceded 4 goals. So someone somewhere must have thought, oh my God, we've got a tweet out at
Yeah, I know.
20 past
That's
7.
what I'm saying. And they're out
20 past 9.
having a
so-
meal, and he's probably sweating, the poor bloke.
Yeah, it's all the marketing department. It's not so much the board itself, but it's
No,
that
I'm not saying it's the
disconnect,
ball.
innit?
I'm just saying the club in
general.
in general. Just be more wary about, because we see what fans are like on social media. They have breakdowns. You know what I mean? Like, I have breakdowns. You have breakdowns.
Mate,
I see geezers this week crying about the kit.
Yeah, that's
And
why I
they're
come off
40.
Twitter. I come
Know
off
what I
Twitter.
mean?
I see 2 grown men in their like 50s arguing over what kit, and I'm like, I can't handle this no more. So I've come off Twitter because every day I'm looking at it, and it's like a West Ham. It's just like everyone's moaning all the time. Like there's
Including us.
but we don't moan about things like that. You know what I mean? People are moaning about a kit.
They haven't even seen the kit.
Who cares what the kit is? Worry about the players. I'm
As
glad.
well-
I'm glad there
as
weren't
well-
social media around. Like, well, imagine when we signed the Canio, the meltdown on Twitter would have been then.
As long as there is these colours, I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not too bothered, but yeah, no. But as for West Ham next season, I know we say it every year, but I think it's got to be an improvement on this season. I mean, what did we finish? I think it was 5 points off 7th. And bearing in mind, we lost our first 4 games. It's not a bad season. I know we all want to be further up the table, but
The thing is, if refereeing decisions gone our way, we would have been.
VAR next season is going to make a big difference. And that's what I hope. Next season is obviously we've got to progress on from what we've done this season. So you're looking at, right, we finished 10th this year. Next season will be top 8, pushing for a European place.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And a good cup run.
That was the frustrating thing this season. We had about 4 chances to go 7, didn't we? And we lost every single time we had a chance to go 7.
It's the 40th anniversary, isn't it, of the FA Cup, last FA Cup win next year. So maybe, you never know. It ain't going to happen, but you never know.
If only. Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah. But yeah, I just think
Speaking of that, you can buy replica shirts in the shop. See? Marketing.
Well,
That's
isn't
how
that
it
what the away shirt's supposed to be? Is what the 1980?
Yeah, there's the rumours, isn't it?
We'll see. We ain't seen it yet. We can't really comment on it until we've seen it. Every other fucker's seen it, except for us.
I know.
Yeah, but in summary, good season, bad season, upset,
Brilliant
happy.
season.
Yeah,
in
contrast.
Great.
Obviously,
in contrast to the last 2 seasons.
Apart from Man City, every set of fans in this country was saying, I wish we had a better season. But no, I'm happy. Like I said, I've come here, and that was the main thing for me, was turning up here each week, looking forward to coming, because the last 2 years I haven't. It felt like a bit of a chore, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like you come in here, sit down, watch
trash,
be shit, and then go home. But this year, I've been excited.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we needed in this, come with this stadium and with this team, was stability. And if we've had the managers come in, have just a steady season, no relegation scraps, a decent mid-table finish, and now we can build on that stability.
This is the block.
And exactly. And then go in with the same manager, same style of play, same core group of players, and just strengthen in certain areas without all these massive changes.
He's had this season to get his ideology across of how he wants us to play.
Yeah.
You know, he knows the players he wants to keep, he knows the players he wants to get rid of, the recruitment's got to be right, and then we should see. There's no reason why we can't carry on where we've left off with the last few games of this season. You know, the footballing performances have been there. We had better players who play the Pellegrini style. You know, we should be pushing for Europe next season. You know,
Let's just hope we get off to a good start.
Yeah.
Even if, right, say we finish, say we go into next season, right, and you finish 9th or something, that might not be what we want in terms of Europe, but if you're having them couple of seasons, thereabouts in the same, like, you're not regressing, so...
Well, this is the first time we've finished in the top 10 for a few seasons now.
Well, yeah, since the last season at Boleyn.
At the Boleyn, so it's the first season here that we've finished in the top 10, so...
We've been here for 3 years now. This next season will be a full thing coming. Do you see us going where we were supposed to be going?
Not under the. I don't think they can take us to where they want to take us. This board. I think we can probably be one of them clubs that challenge maybe for 7th here and there, but I don't think they can take us to the promised land.
All this ball can take us is stability. That's the only thing they'll offer.
Yeah, unless we get
big change.
Billionaire owners come in and chuck money at this football club, we're never going to win the Premier League. We're never going to probably finish in the top 4.
Yeah.
But saying that, I know it was a crazy season, but that last season at the Boleyn, we beat Swansea and beat Stoke. We would have been top 4.
Yeah.
So it can happen.
And VAR would have come in.
It's just about having the right set of players and being consistent, and that's all what football is about.
And before we go, I know you said we have to wait till the end of the season. VAR next season.
It's going to help.
I see a table where, look, you've got to take this with a pinch of salt, right, these tables, because they are stats that show you if they made them decisions and the game would have carried on as was, you know what I mean? You've got to think, if, say, for instance, like you're playing Liverpool and you've drew 1-1 and you've scored early, you may go on to score another one because of momentum and all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? We would have finished 6th, 3 places behind a 5th place Tottenham if all the decisions would have been given. We were the season's biggest losers in terms of decisions and things like that have gone against us. We have lost the most points.
Yeah.
will that help?
Well, hopefully. I mean, it just one thing. You never know. Next season, it might be completely different, and it all works against us. So I'd like to think it would help, but at least we know then it's going to be. There's a process going to be taken. So if you do lose out because your goal's been ruled offside or whatever, you know.
I wish that would have happened because I want to look such a prat.
No, do you know what? I know VAR is good, but I'm not for VAR. I'd rather just have it how it's been all the time.
It takes a lot.
It's because you're gonna score a goal, you're gonna be celebrating like nutters, and then you turn around and then it's not given, and then you're just gonna start. You're gonna every week. We just scored. Oh, we've got to wait because everyone's gonna be challenging everything. Yeah, someone's gonna run over. The captain's gonna run over to the referee and say, "No, there was pushing in the box," and the referee's gonna go and look and things like that.
I wait anyway because the amount of times we've had goals ruled out. Whenever we score, I wait a few seconds and I go,
this is gonna be another level.
The thing is, I don't think it should be where you have, like in cricket, the players can appeal. You shouldn't be able to have that. I think it needs to be done so that you have a set of referees watching the game or the officials watching the game watching the game on the TV, so to speak. You know, they getting the referees here going, there may have been an infraction before that goal was scored.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be borderline decisions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to be borderline decisions.
You look back at the game against Liverpool where their goal was marked, I think Milner was like 5 yards offside.
Yeah.
And they've allowed that.
But then you're saying it shouldn't be
the people watching it.
Okay.
The officials.
Yeah, you wouldn't even need to go to the telly and take all that time because someone could say that's miles offside.
I do understand with VAR because look, without VAR, Tottenham wouldn't be in a Champions League final. You know what I mean? So I understand it. It is good that way as long as it just works consistently. You can't have where 1 week it's working, the next week it ain't. It's got to be consistent. And you know, like in tennis, when you can appeal something 3 times, a team should only be able to do it 3 times a game because you can't have a team appealing everything all the time.
I think it should be once. I think you should get one appeal because I think 3 times is even too many. 3 times each.
This is what I'm saying. If you take that away from the players that they can't appeal, and just leave it in the hands of officials who are overseeing the game via the VAR. That way it will keep the game flowing a lot more because it's not the referee. They're going to be in an earpiece with the referee. The thing I'd like to see is if a decision is overruled, it should be played on a big screen of why it's been overruled.
Yeah.
So that the fans can see.
Yeah, but not every ground's got screens, has it?
Well, just at least play at the ground with screens.
They should install it. It's 2019 now. Every team.
Sky TV money.
Yeah, but fuck me.
It's 2019. Everton's still got wooden seats.
Because otherwise, you're going to be watching the game. The goal's going to get disallowed, and then you're sitting there going, "Why?"
No, it's going to be like it's just going to drag the game out. Games are going to go from 90 minutes to like American football, like 3.5 hours.
Well, we'll just have to see how it
there
works.
being a lot of teething problems.
Yeah.
I can see there being a lot of teething.
But there shouldn't be because they've been trialling it for how long now? 2 years?
But right, they try all these fucking things.
I know,
for
but they
so
shouldn't.
long. Do you know
but
what I mean?
like I said, without VAR,
it might even be one of these things where they bring it in and they think, "Oh, that's a load of shit. We'll take it back out again." That's happened before. Like fourth officials.
You look at all right. Let's be honest.
On the goal line.
Goal line technology. Liverpool would be champions now.
Yeah.
Because look at that goal that was, a millimetre, but it wasn't a goal.
No.
But the goal line technology is brilliant.
Yeah.
It goes straight to the referee, flashes up, goal. Yeah. Bang, done.
The only thing I don't like about it, right, is that this game is getting further away from the game you play in the park, and I think that was the point of it all.
Actually, lobbed that right.
I thought he was going over here.
But that's
and I think you can't have VAR at a park. You cannot have goal line technology at a park. You know what I mean? Like, and that's. I think that was the sort of heart of the game. Do you know
the problem
what I mean?
is the stakes are so high now.
You can be playing in a park, or you can be playing in a World Cup final at whatever stadium in the world, and it would be exactly the same game. That's
the business side of the professional game.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Apart from having it in a World Cup, World Cup's the only place you can have it where it's not going to financially benefit individual clubs. Do you know what I mean? You're having it in the World Cup or the European Championships and title competitions so that the right people win it. With it being in the Premier League, like I said, it takes it away from the grassroots game because of the business aspects of professional football.
Yeah.
That's all it's about. So you don't get these situations where I think, wasn't a few years ago, Bolton stayed up on a goal that shouldn't have stood and the team went down.
Scott, that was 22 years ago.
It's things like that that's what they're trying to start happening.
Yeah.
You know,
But then it should be across all forms of football, all the leagues, not just the Premier League.
the top 4 divisions. Should be in the top 4
Yeah, in the
divisions.
league, yeah.
But yeah, well, we'll see how it gets on next season. Hopefully, it'll help us out.
I'm sure we'll be talking about it.
Oh yeah, it's going to be constant. But then again, if it's right, it's right. You can't argue with it, can you?
Right, one last thing before we go. Thank you very much for watching. I said a thank you last week. I don't know whether you boys want to add to that quickly.
Yeah, no. Everything you said on Twitter, mate.
Yeah, no, I
I
said
need
the
you,
same.
yeah.
Like, I echoed everything you said. It's been a tough season for us personally. I mean, especially in the last few weeks, it's been tough. But
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, you know, Scott's here, he's got his boy here, and we've all got.
we're not.
I do apologise.
Look, we're not media trained. We're not professionals. We don't sit in studios. Look, we're on a couple of benches outside the London Stadium, but we started doing this to give fans a voice, and people like it. Some people don't. And as I've always said, if you don't like it, don't watch it. But you know you secretly do. and yeah, I mean, I hold the camera sometimes, and I don't agree with what people are saying.
Yeah.
I don't agree sometimes with what you say. You don't agree with what I say sometimes. That's football. That's
the
what,
discussion.
That's what it's about.
What we're here for.
It's an opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to
It'd be
their opinion.
boring if we all agreed, wouldn't it? If everyone had the same opinion, it'd be really boring.
Well, VAR will all have to agree next season.
One last thing. Jade.
How many times have you said one last thing?
One last thing.
No, this is the last thing. This is the very
Oh,
last
you don't want to
thing.
do it on this one?
Yeah.
Someone better take his kid.
Okay. Scott, you remember at the beginning of this season,
Yeah, go on.
we put you through a quiz
Yeah. And I lost.
and you lost.
For a change.
And we said that you would do the forfeit and you've never done the forfeit. So. we've been
Thought you got
racking
away with that,
we've-
Scott, didn't
we've
you?
been racking our brains, mate. And
I've been waiting for it. Go on. What the hell is that? It looks a bit. It looks a bit mouldy.
That's the best
That
Scotch
is the
bonnet you
fresh-
could get.
the freshest.
Seriously, that's fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the.
They smell beautiful, Scotch bonnets.
Jesus Christ. Eat it, Scott.
Right. The whole thing.
Right. So,
That does not look.
We
fresh.
just bought it off a fruit and veg
Brown
stall.
bits in it,
Stop
everywhere.
trying to stop stalling it.
have you ever had Scotch bonnet peppers before, Scott?
Never, mate.
Or I'll rub it in your eye. Eat it all.
Those who know, you know, don't you?
Well, eat it all. Just
Eat it
pour
all.
of it.
No, eat it
No,
all.
all of
Just
it.
stick it all in.
half, yeah?
No.
All of it.
Scott, I will give you some advice, right now.
Scott, we've got milk on standby.
Scott, listen, if you do not want that horrible pain in your stomach, right, and you want it, you got to chew it a
No.
lot. Yeah, because
Stop telling him the secrets.
No,
Eat
I've
it.
got to go home on the train yet.
That's all right.
Carry on,
so chew it. It's going to be more painful in your mouth, but you'll save yourself later on. So you really got to chew it.
I'm not worried about it coming out.
Let Cody try
Yeah,
it
so
first.
chew it.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, don't let him even touch it on his
All of
skin.
it. Whole thing.
Oh,
Hang on, mate.
let me go get that camera.
That is that's cruelty. He's got his kids here and everything. Get her in his cheeks again. Shit.
Bring it forward. How hot is it?
Fucking hell.
How hot is it?
No, wait. Not yet. With the...
Too late for growth. I mean,
How hot is it?
it's like going in the back of my throat.
I might do a Kurt Angle and start
Not as
drinking
long as
them.
I thought it'd be.
Yeah, you wait.
It's like that.
I'm glad I didn't have to do that.
That's fucking
I'll get a coma when I go to the Indian. I hate hot food.
shot me already.
His face.
Yeah, that's going. It seems to be going a bit red.
I'm gonna chuck this in the
Who's
bin.
hot?
Oh, you don't even need it. He's taking it quite well.
Right, end the video, Nick.
I mean, that's
Don't get the quiz wrong again. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Post-Season Pint. We'll be back all through the summer with various videos. Don't forget to check out all the ones that we've done last season. And thanks for watching. One thing left to say.
Come on, you
guys.
guys.